Get them suds.
Even now, Mr. Benson,
Yeah.
the suds will rise.
Ooh. It never gets old, does it?
No,
Always,
it really doesn't.
Always makes you feel good.
I try to imagine what this fluid might taste like, and I also fantasize about being ground in it. And I'm delighted as a result. Precious Channel.
Do we make a beer that's just based on the opening roll?
It's based on. Well, we should be able to get the SRM of it pretty easy, right? Anyway, Precious Channel. It is I, your internet friend, Jeffrey K. Horkrims. And however it came to be, you have fallen ass backwards into Twitch's brewing show, Acquisitions Intoxicated, a show whose entire purpose, whose mission, is to give you that which you already own. It's the art and science of brewing. I am joined, as almost always, by Acquisitions Intoxicated brewmaster Eric J. Benson, EJB, the notorious one, obviously Azerbaijan, Edge. The entire collection is available for you, all of them. His name is Legion. We are also joined by Royal Taster, Mike Krahulik. Mike Krahulik, now do you have your Growlito in place?
I got it right here. It's cold. I'm ready.
Perfect. I see some condensation at the exterior.
Yeah.
Certainly that must be considered a good sign. Now,
Yeah.
Are you also adorned in merchandise from the Gabir Motors collection available at store.penny-arcade.com?
Well,
God,
the
look at
hat,
that.
yes, is Gabir Motors.
Right?
The sweatshirt is Child's Play.
Oh, rad.
So top to
that's
bottom.
That's the design that Dora did, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we ever stop making merchandise, I would have no clothes.
Yeah. This has been been true for a while.
Yeah.
It would be a very different stream, to be sure. Now, so of course, as in all things, we adhere rigorously, religiously to the hero's journey. So the show has a rich arc, and of course, you're invited to be a part of it. Now, that being said, literally every one of our fermenters is
completely full with beer.
Thank you, Flagusco, Vivitien, and Tobias. Now, so what that means is, I mean, it means essentially we're operating a brewery. At this point, I think that we are very near to the point where we have to license.
I think license my kitchen?
Your apartment. Well, no, I don't think that we're supposed to have this volume of beer at home in your. I don't think that that's how it's supposed to work. I'd be very surprised. But the main thing is that because we're essentially at capacity with almost 5 beers ready to tap, it means a couple things. One, it means lots of interest in the show. We're dialed in substantially.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great stuff to try. All recipes, of course, that we've made here together on the channel. The second thing that means is that there won't be an opportunity for Eric Benson to execute an incredible insertion today, because we know that he's good for it. We've seen it. It's been clipped. My understanding is that it's made its way out to some unsavory sites with a very unique clientele.
God, my own OnlyFans and me putting that shit in them.
Honestly, listen, I would sub.
100% would sub.
I'm prepared to sub on every axis. But the main draw is that we're going to do our tasting, and then of course we'll jump right into crafting another sumptuous recipe here. And so even now that Mike has kneeled down, now that he is laying down, we can see yet another piece of Penny Arcade merchandise on the chair.
Look at that.
I mean, it would not surprise me to learn perhaps that we've also begun manufacturing doors.
I mean, what's next? I mean, why not chairs? Why not nightstands? Who
display
knows?
cases. Now, let's take a look. If you would be so kind.
Kitchen islands?
Yes, exactly. Mr. Benson, if you would please be so kind as to go through Brew Site.
Yeah, so Brew
as
Site.
A construct.
So this is a Belgian triple, mostly Pilsner malts. We added a little bit of biscuit to give it a toasty, biscuity flavor.
Yeah, a little richer.
The yeast in this is going to give us some like banana and butterscotch taste.
Yeah, Belgian yeast known for and flavors that in another context would be considered like an off flavor.
Right.
But in this style, these unruly bugs produce these very unique flavor profiles. I can't wait to see Mike's face, frankly.
Yeah,
I like the smell a lot.
It's amazing, right?
So the hop in there is the Huel melon, which is supposed to be like honeydew and strawberry.
Right. So
it smells like fresh baked cookies or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly right. And then and that Belgian yeast, I mean, obviously historically speaking, drawn from wild yeasts that just existed in a place that weren't as controlled as a normal yeast.
No, the fermenters were in the ground and the doors to the barn would just be opened and then that would
wild.
ferment the beer.
Yeah, yeast's gone wild. Yeah, are you ready?
Try this.
Hit it. I like this, the lean in on the pull.
That's the reaction I was expecting.
Do you feel like the smell
tastes like it smells at all?
Do you feel like the smell lied to you?
It tricked you?
Oh,
You've been gaslighted by a beer?
that's one of the worst ones. Oh.
Oh man. All right. Well, so what do you think the issue was, Mike? Do you think it was the acidulated malts? Was that what got in the way?
The taste of it.
The flavor
on my mouth.
Complete taste.
I would say the flavor and texture of the beer were vile. And yes, and I would say let me join you at the top of the glass, Mr. Krahulik.
It's something kind of fishy.
Fishy? I don't think fish notes is one of the ones that we're looking for.
Well, I'm not taking another sip to verify.
That's fine. When you say fishy, do you mean of unknown provenance, or do you mean like a fish?
No, I mean like a dock.
Yeah. This is straight up wet rope on a dock.
It's like dock scrapings? Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, like I can taste some wood.
Some brine.
Some barnacle.
Waste.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Some dander. All right.
Well, that was vile. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you for suffering through it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, it is Harbormeister. That's funny. Like, I am not a Belgian. Like, Belgians aren't my go-to beer. Like, I don't find them. Like, I can enjoy them, but like if I have a full menu, I'm usually not going there.
No. For me, I mean, obviously, but I don't hate the style.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it's never going to be my first choice.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Right. Like if someone puts a delirium in front of my craw, I'm going to drink the hell out of it.
Well, no, listen, anything that somebody puts in front of me, it's going in. I mean, that's the rule. But all I would say is that, I mean, for me, it's just there's some of it is sentimental. The very first beer that I ever brewed was a Belgian ale. And so cool. some of those tastes are definitely like, for me, I have good memories associated with.
Yeah, absolutely.
With it. And you know, Mike is not wrong. If we constrain our interest exclusively to the top of the glass, that is fucking believably good.
Yeah, it is. It smells amazing.
Right. So it's offering up. I mean, I think that part of this is that we have biscuit, but it's like, it's not the small amount, right? It's only
but this tastes
it's
like
only half an ounce.
Yeah.
Or about half a pound.
Half a pound.
Yeah. And so, but it's enough to alter the nose. The main thing, of course, is that in this style, there's a lot of granulated sugar that gets thrown in there to goose the ABV. And then, but most of the work, I think a little bit of, I wonder if the acidulated malts weren't part of what set him off. He's not going to like that.
I don't think it's the acidulated malts. I mean, it is a different style of beer, and you either like it or you don't.
Yeah. I mean, even as essentially pornographers in this space, like people who are interested in weird shit.
Yeah.
We don't reach for this style first. That doesn't mean that we can't appreciate it, and I'm going to do my best to appreciate it now.
Yeah, and I mean, because remember, a lot of the flavor of a Belgian is coming from the yeast we use. Right?
Exactly. Independent. And we know this because we have fucked with it. Remember?
Right.
We would mess around with a Belgian yeast on the same recipe as an ale yeast.
Right.
And you get wildly different. They're completely orthogonal to each other.
Right.
With the same ingredients. Everything else is the same.
100%. And you either really like Belgians or I guess you like me. I like Belgians, but again, it's never going to be my go-to. Like,
yeah, well, see, for me, Belgians don't tend to be based around hop character, and that's one of my primary interests in this space.
Right,
is what you can do, on that side. Which, I mean, that's why I'm pleased about a lot of the stuff that we have in fermenters coming up.
You want to see what we have in the fermenters?
Yeah.
Okay, so next week we'll have Hazy Recollection, which is our hazy IPA with lemon drop.
Okay, so we were able to get lemon drop, and then immediately we assigned ourselves the task.
Yeah,
and then but lemon drop is actually being used 3 ways in that.
Yeah,
like that's an embarrassment of riches. If you're dropping it in at Whirlpool, it's hitting the boil, and then it's your bittering hop, your aroma hop, your flavor hop.
No, we remember the bittering was Idaho 7.
Oh, that's right.
How cool is that?
Which is mega. Well, it's mega stone fruit and sweet, like sweet, rich fruit.
Mm-hmm.
That alongside the sharper, acidic bite of the lemon drop. I mean, that might be really, really crazy shit.
I can't wait. So we have that Cloak and Stagger, which was a stout.
Yep, our rogue vibe.
Our rogue stout. But I mean, look at this. Munich chocolate, flaked oats.
That's a fucking
the black currant.
Mess. And then Fuggles, which is classic, right? So Fuggles is not in the weird zone. Fuggles is one of the most ship of the line basic. Like Fuggles, you have to think about Fuggles or East Kent Goldings in British beers the same way you'd think about Saws.
Hallertau, Northern Brewer, or whatever. And
they're it's basically like their baseline.
Yep,
right.
Exactly.
And so, but really, where that's going to come out, and then of course we have the darkness yeast recommended. I think it might have been Orion actually that suggested it, and of course we're down to clown.
Yeah.
We know that delivers great results, and then but black currant juice on top of the Fuggles with the rest of the body of that beer off chocolate Munich and flaked oats, is going to be lunch,
right?
Like it is going to be a substantial product.
Yeah, but for me, what I'm interested in finding out with this beer is the chocolate going to give too much of a roasted flavor, or it just enough?
Well, you know what? At 3/4 of a pound,
right? And so
it's doing some fucking work.
It's 9% of the beer. So, I mean, think about it in percentage, calculations, right? So, because is it going to taste better being more roasty and fruity, or less roasty and more malty and fruity, right?
I think that it's just like the Diablo 2 socketing system. I think that the chocolate malt actually just rests right in the Munich.
That is a goddamn great reference.
I'm just saying it gets placed, Mox. Yeah. Let's talk about some other objects we could get in that game. Let's just go to the list. But I'm saying that basically, I think that it is actually going to rest in the almost 7 pounds of Munich. And then the oats, I think that the main things you're going to get is actually the mouthfeel.
Right.
I think the experience is not going to be overrun by it.
Right.
At least that's the hope, especially when we have literal juice.
Right, exactly. Actual juice. And we're using a good amount of it in there. So hopefully they all balance.
Absolutely.
Balance each other out.
Well, Crystal in the chat looking for the ICP themed beer. I mean, obviously, whoop, whoop.
How do we put magnets in a beer?
Clown love, I think, is the phrasing. But yes, when in the days where we could actually go into the office, I think that Dave and I would often, I think ironically, engage in ICP signs and terminology.
Was it ironic though?
It was ironic on my part.
Are you sure?
I'm more of a Twisted fan. I mean, obviously, I celebrate the entire catalog.
Yeah.
But
you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like I'm sitting here like I don't really like Belgians. It's not that it's not my type of beer. It's already half gone.
Well, the funny part is you held it up, and that was the only part that wasn't. It's like it looked like you were just holding like a snifter.
Yeah.
Of the product. But here, we honestly haven't really gone into this. We've talked around it, and we've talked about some others. Why don't you finish our roster, and then we'll head back to the glass.
Yeah. So then we have Hunter's Dark.
Mm-hmm.
This is Vienna malt. It's a porter with Vienna malt, black patent, and this we put rye in here.
Oh,
really, just
such a grace note with the rye,
just to see how that would spice it up. And I think that's
and then Hood and Chinook. Like, I don't hate this at all. That is really that is a very efficient, very classic beer.
Yeah, Mike's gonna hate the hell out of it, but it's gonna be great.
Yeah. The truth is, you never know. I mean,
you never know.
The closer something gets to a German beer, then we're gold, right? 23 shouts. Thanks for the 7.
Then we have Bloodweiser.
Which
was we did a Golden Promise with some wheat, and we made it another hazy. This is Citra El Dorado.
What a list, dude! Right? Look at this fucking roster.
Yeah,
that's like that is the greatest hits of fucking all-star collection for hops.
Right.
Real spine from the Amarillo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're at the jump, ground floor, and then you hit it with the heat Citra. We already know about it. It's like Lemon Drop, but it's not quite as sharp. A little bit more broad citrus character.
Yeah.
I'd say closer to a tangerine or grapefruit, really. And then El Dorado, mega mango vibes.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
I'm just excited because we never really play around in this territory. We purposely stayed away from it for such a long time.
Well, okay, and I had forgotten this, dude. So you can see up at the top of the roster here, the amounts that are there for boil and going on. But then there's 6 full ounces added to the fermenter because it's a hazy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Jumping Jesus. And then wheat. Fuck. All right. And so that one's already going to work, right? I mean, it's already.
Oh yeah, they're already done. And then Warren Yeast. This was our black IPA. Remember this one? Munich Carafa, roasted barley, Tomahawk
brutal
hops,
brutal,
and then Idaho 7.
Yep. And then the Burton on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Blind Cleric. Yeah. We're getting it. It's so good to see you, man.
So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Shit. Yeah. We have 5. And then Bruce site was today. So we've got a lot of you're muted. You're totally muted.
What if I unmuted?
I mean, that'd be.
Is perfect. That better for the show?
I mean, I'm always interested in hearing what you have to say.
Differ.
But if you don't want to share that, that's okay.
Exactly. So Orion says this is 6 ounces of dry hop in a 2.5 gallon batch. I think we're talking about the last one, the one before this, the Bloodweiser.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's definitely what I see on here. It might be something that you look at when it's time to add the ingredients. In terms of the volume, is that like too many hops? I mean, it's for the hazy character. It's the main thing we're trying to extract.
It's not enough. If anything, it's not enough. We could add more.
Yeah. No, I'm super cranked up about it
because it's not going to add any IBUs. It's just going to add the flavor.
No, exactly. And then get a load of because we dialed that in with the color, right?
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at our IBUs, even after all of that nonsense, we're at 26.
Yeah. But that color as a hazy, I don't know that I've ever seen it that far south in SRM. Like that is going to be.
I'm fucking excited.
That's going to be like country, like treetop lemonade type shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible color. Stolny, thank you so much. And I missed Rex Verdi and Umbral Alderman for the subs before because I was being a goose and I was fantasizing. The idea I think there was something that was it Blood Effect or the Bloodweiser I think was actually more about the mist.
Yeah, it was the Mist of Ravenloft.
Yes, Bloodweiser, just because it's themed after Ravenloft for that announcement.
Oh no, we're putting raspberry in there too.
Oh, I was just gonna say Raz, which is part of why it was so light.
Yeah.
Very, very excited for the whole thing. Now, so obviously you're almost through your glass, but let's address this glass. So if we go back to,
I don't like, this is a really good Belgian. Like, if you like Belgians,
exactly. So head back to brew site so we can chew over the.
To be honest, I wish I should have got some to Ryan, because Ryan is a Belgian. He likes Belgian beers.
He does.
So he would have been right. This would have been right up his alley, because this tastes like this, executed as a Belgian fantastically.
Yeah. The only difference I would say between this and a lot of Belgians that we've had, it's probably because we were fucking around with this, with the touch of acidulated in the biscuit, is that the most Belgians that I've had tend to be a little bit weaker in the body, but this is like a little chewy still, right?
Yeah, it's like a medium body almost, right?
Yeah, and it really carries it. The main thing I'm getting out of it is banana and clove in terms of that's the Belgian character. That's like straight in.
That's the yeast.
It's exactly what you'd expect, but it's built around a really simple, like efficient but solid malt bill.
Yeah,
and it's good.
I'm actually, I really, as a Belgian, I absolutely love this beer.
No, we are on a fucking tear.
Yeah.
The last few of these have been so fucking good. So which one is next week's?
Next week is Hazy Recollection.
Oh my god. I can't wait.
Right? It's like, is it Tuesday yet? Because I just want to try this
please. Beer. Well, and when we were texting before the show, essentially it's like, so brewery win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right? It. It's like you don't want to open it now. Right? Now is not the time to open the brewery.
Yeah. Well, I mean, space is cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. But what's funny is that people, at least around here, people keep running breweries. Oh, hang on one sec. Is it for me? Wow, thank you, Tender. Oh, this is left. Brenna gave me some food. I guess Ronya didn't want it, so I'll just eat breakfast.
Hell yeah!
Here on the show. Holy shit! Did she sliver garlic?
What?
God,
wait a minute. Like,
this is a very powerful, very attractive woman. She's really, really something special.
Yeah.
And I benefited. And then this is also some kind of polenta cake with Parmesan on it. This is madness. Good Christ. Anyway, no. So you know as well as I do that motherfuckers are running breweries essentially out of craft spaces or out of storage units.
Yeah.
And getting in trouble. Right? Getting in trouble.
I think it'd be a great story to say, hey, we opened a brewery during a pandemic. So,
yeah, we did. Well, as I say, Mr. Dan Barine right in the chat, Mr. Dan Barine. I mean, how is it running a brewery during these dark times? I know that your squad has basically had to move a lot of the operation online. Of course, we had an event at Two Beers down in Soto,
which was amazing.
Sold out. We had a great chance to redo War Priest.
Oh, God,
we made a custom smash so we could really talk about the hop character and the malt character. Basically ran like an educational afternoon and then hung out for a while. God, it was really, really good times. But yeah, I mean, so is it all bad, or is there some upsides there in that space? Because I would love to know. I mean, I recognize that it does require some typing on your part, and we will come back to it as you do it. But my understanding is that you essentially the game has to change a little bit. You got to move you got to move to selling online. And if you're not really designed to do that, or if you haven't, like Two Beers, if you haven't set up a great merchandise operation that's really conscious about that kind of stuff from the jump, you're not going to be ready for the next thing. I mean, let me say one thing about Two Beers before we continue. They have what I think is probably the best bar food item.
Oh my God. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Which one? Which one?
It was the fried garlic poppers or whatever the heck they were called. Or
I know. I got it. That's what it comes across as, dude. That is their fried.
Is it cauliflower?
No. It is Brussels sprout
Sprouts. Yeah.
Fried Brussels sprout Caesar.
And you know what's crazy about that? I don't like Brussels sprouts, but I ate like 9 orders of those things.
I fucked that thing up. It was like I went into a blood rage, and I destroyed that part of the restaurant. It's still open to the sky.
Yeah.
I destroyed like the structural integrity of that part of the restaurant.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't sue just to get a roof over their heads again.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I mean,
they don't want to be out there stapling up a tarp.
Right.
But yeah, so to hear Mr. Dan Breman says, hey, it's getting better now that plague numbers are going down. We're starting to see a nice distance flow coming through the space. That is so great.
Yeah.
That is so great. And sometimes we have the benefit of the Voodoo Rangers wisdom here in the channel as well. And I'd be really excited to talk to them if they roll through.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see what it's like for a little bit larger operation.
Right.
Their advantage, of course, here locally, we have lots of 2 beers on shelves.
Yeah.
Which is that's a knife fight. Like that's the UFC basically.
Right.
Getting shelf inches is UFC tier horse shit, right? Heavyweight champ.
Right.
But if you already have that in there, but I know they have venues and stuff as well. Yeah. I'd be curious to hear what their challenge situation is.
I just love I love the space that 2 Beers created. Like that tap room is just, if you haven't had a chance to go, and if you ever come out to Seattle, just get down there because it's really spectacular.
Yeah. So Mr. Dan Bareenman says the tap room is actually open now for lunch as well to space things out. That's awesome. But the best advantage that you guys have, Dan, is that the whole front of it, because you designed it to be an event space also, the whole front opens up, right? And so you can really make a kind of indoor-outdoor space that's okay.
Yeah, I can't wait for summer. I mean, that's going to be one of our spots we have to hit.
Right. Yeah, GamerGout actually has a really interesting point here. Selling online for alcohol as a startup is a nightmare mess to navigate. The couriers you need to use will gouge you if they're the only game in town, pretty much. It's really, really bad also because there's a lot of bizarre blue laws held over from the 20s and 30s that still establish some, frankly, very arbitrary rules about what type of liquids can move from place to place unfettered. Yeah.
Interrogative pronoun. That's a really great question. With Pico Brew going out of business, what alternatives do we have from a more automated system? We've
looked at a couple.
The Grainfather is a great one if you want to spend the money. It's about $990, so close to $1,000. But it's pretty much simulates exactly what the Pico does. It's app-based driven. You just type in everything you need, press go, and you're done. If you don't want to spend that much, but get incredibly close to what, if not almost exactly close to what the Grainfather offers, there is called the Anvil, which is made by the company's called the Foundry. And that comes in 5-gallon sizes and 10-gallon sizes. And I think you can get the 5-gallon size for about $350. So really easy entry, if you have the capital to do so. And it's the same thing. You can program everything. There's a dashboard, an LCD dashboard that you can just program everything out. So if you want your water to heat up at 7 a.m. in the morning, it'll do so for you. You can program it all in and everything's ready to go. Yeah. And it has chilling built into it. You can get your chilling built into it, which is a huge thing that the Pico really doesn't have. So
that's the main benefits. Thing. Now, if you're looking, so both of those, they sort of give you access to, they look very much, at least to my mind, like a traditional brewing apparatus.
Yep.
If you're looking for nerd shit, like something a little bit more, akin to the Pico line that we've enjoyed.
Yep.
I think in that space, the one that I have done the most research on and seen the best reviews of is called the Brewery.
Yes, the Brewery. Yep. Absolutely.
So that tends to be a brew in bag system. So the cleaning process is pretty straightforward. The main thing, of course, is that it has a lot of automation in addition to being able to offer built-in cooling as well. Yeah. And I think its cleaning process is much more simple as well.
Yep, and you can with a Raspberry Pi and a Pico C, if you can do it, you can do that as well.
Yep, there's all kinds of scams. If you go to GitHub, you can see people have already spoofed. Yeah, they've already spoofed the thing end to end. Now you can back up all your recipes, which is honestly something we should do anyway. But all of our recipes exist in Beersmith.
Multiple formats, yeah.
Yeah, we're fine. And then Tony did a bunch of them even in extract style. So we got recipes for days.
Yeah, I mean we're at 149 recipes right now.
Absolutely. So. But Dan, no, I had not heard that particular news. I mean, GG, obviously, please let us know where you end up. Hopefully you end up in the same space so that I can continue to get a lot of free beer from you. But,
wait, what happened? Dan?
Yeah, Dan, last Friday was his last day.
What the shit?
It's hard to imagine. That loss, obviously, to 2 beers, I would describe as incalculable.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I know that you'll do great wherever you end up, but yeah, that's a long period of time. Best of luck. Not that you need it. Yeah, Pyrol. Yeah, is the Grainfather cloud-based though? Because there's absolutely zero need for any of this to be cloud-based. I completely understand what you mean, and certainly if you've ever been bit. Buy a device that has that cloud aspect.
I don't think the Grainfather is cloud-based. I think it's, I could be 100% wrong. I haven't used it, but I think it's just direct to your app on your phone. But
it's more of an appliance, more of a local. It isn't an Internet of Things horseshit thing.
Don't quote me on that. So
absolutely, but hey, many tools out there available for your use. Interrogative at a range of things. Up to and including the one that we have not mentioned a long time ago. Of course, we had our friends from Micro Homebrew, whose name I believe you can see emblazoned upon the stream. Our friend Tony over there brought in a really simple setup, like a single burner type thing. You can get into this for $100. There's no reason to go hog ass wild at the outset.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Determine
if you like it. Determine if you like the hobby first.
Exactly. But I'm just saying that this art form, has been around for a while, and of course, it was managed by our forebears, and they didn't have access to. They had like clouds. Yeah. Certainly, as I understand it. Yeah. But they did not have Azure or AWS.
Right. I mean, from when I started way back when, that was not under 21 years of age.
I have seen these buckets. You still have them, and you still use them for parts of the process. Bucket.
Yes.
Right.
I spent $120, got the full setup for my local homebrew shop, and was making beer. So you don't have to go, to the nines with all this steel and anything else.
No, exactly. Hey, so Stolny has a question specifically about how do these systems handle kegging and tapping? And you have this answer end to end, of course.
Very much incredibly easy. So if you're in the Pico, if you had a Pico, you're already fermenting in your kegs. So it's just
it's a one-step thing. That's one of the philosophical aspects of it, right?
Yeah. So you're just switching to a cleaner keg, kind of like you would switch to a secondary fermenter.
Transfer.
With any of these other automated systems, you're going to want it has a cooling chiller built right into it, so you're chilling right into any fermenter you want, and then once your fermentation is done, like normal, you shoot it right over into a keg. It's that easy. I love kegging beer because I hate bottling beer. So
you basically serve from there, and then I mean, I can tell you how much he likes it. Let me just reach down here. I mean, this is much easier.
Yeah,
It's a much easier process. Now, two things. Orion wrote in his wisdom is letting us know that the grandfather does not require cloud operation.
That's what I thought. I just thought it was straight app to or phone to brewing system.
It's phone to table. You know what I mean?
Table. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and then, I first heard about it. Gordon Ramsay called me up. He's like, Eric, have you heard about this phone to table idea? And I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
Gordon,
it's huge.
We should run with it.
It's huge. Now, sorry. It turns out that this beer is too good, and I had to pour some more. So
it's actually like for a Belgian, it's fucking great.
God, it's just perfect. It's another fucking out of the park win. Now, the other thing, yes, obviously the simplicity of the Pico is very good. We want that. The only thing I was going to mention is that Times is saying it's like with coffee roasting. You can buy a starter roaster for $300, or you can use a pot on a flame and stir it for free. I started with the fresh roast.
Yeah, the fresh roast is great.
They have a bunch of different models, but that's like you roasting a pot of coffee at a time. Like it's good for gifts and stuff like that. But if you want to roast your coffee daily, if you want to have coffee every day, you have to move up to a pound system. And that's.
But here's the thing: I think the fresh roast is good to hone some skills. You learn about the crack. You learn about.
No, you need it actually.
Right.
If you start with a pound system, all that means.
Yeah, right? You're bypassing the beginning steps of learning.
No. So your pound system is my old pound system.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I gave it to you. That's what's going to happen. If you get into coffee roasting, that fresh roast isn't going to go to waste.
No.
That fresh roast is going to become somebody else's starter hobby.
So I once you gave me the Be More, I gave my fresh roast to Greg Bilsling.
No shit.
Then Greg Bilsling gave it to somebody else. And then it's traveled to like 3 or 4 people now who have wanted to get into
exactly. So if you start with the grandfather, let's say, just as an example, it's going to be exactly like starting with a Baymore.
Yeah.
All that means is that you are going to ruin much larger batches at a time.
Yeah.
Except that this is a path and this is a skill set that you're going to build, right?
Right.
And start with amounts that you don't mind losing so that you can experiment and get good at it. And then when you move up to that pound system, you'll know what's right and wrong.
Right.
It's very analog. I mean, eventually for a specific bean from a specific period of time, you can dial the times in, but it is an analog process until then. There's no way for you to know what the water content of these fucking beans is, right? It's a process and you have to be comfortable.
Right.
You have to be comfortable learning that process. But if you can figure that out and feel good about it,
right.
That's your coffee costs $5 a pound forever.
Right. And we had that conversation the other day when I was saying, when you you had those that new company of beans. I'm like, well, how do these roast? These look a lot different.
They're different.
Yeah. And I'm like, but we were able to have that conversation because I started on a fresh roast and I knew, okay, I'm going to get a crack at this point, but with this type of bean, this is totally different. Right?
Either one of these, right? Just keep this in mind, right? So, and be conscious that be conscious that failure is part of learning.
Oh yeah.
And bad beer can be drunk. I promise you.
Yep.
And bad coffee, same thing.
My first beer was on my stove and it exploded to the top of the stove because of the hop break. So I had hops all over my kitchen stove.
Oh, when the foam, but like when they burst in the wort?
In the boil, yeah.
Ugh.
So don't worry, things are going to get screwed up.
Exactly, but I'm just saying, like, it's like the meditation principle of unconditional positive self-regard. Mm-hmm. Just accept that these failures are momentary. Mm-hmm. They're part of the task. Befriend them, because now it's like the task as an intellectual exercise.
Yeah,
I just read my phone and do stuff. And there's a part of my mind that knows exactly how to do it. Like I've been roasting since 2005 or some shit.
Right.
Like it's completely automatic, and it'll get that way there for you as well. But stick with it for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Now, Stiggs is like, see, this is why I brew mead so much simpler. Yeah, brew. So there's that is a great way to start brewing. Honestly, mead and cider are both really, really great intros to some of the tasks, because you're going to get your cleaning down, and most of that repetitive part of the task is just making sure that your equipment's ready to do the next batch.
Right.
Beer and cider, like they're not as, cider and mead, they're not as sophisticated in some aspects.
Speak for yourself. I effed up my first mead batch as well too. So
what happened? What happened in there?
Just tasted it. It came out like vinegar and nasty.
Yeah. So, we want to make sure which of these microorganisms is winning this fight, right?
Yeah. So you can screw up anything, but you learn from it. I mean, that's it. You know, your first batch might not be great. Your second batch is going to be even better.
Yeah, exactly. It's an arc. It's an arc. Now we got to get on the stick.
Do we?
Yeah, we got to move forward. We have talked about nothing for a full 41 minutes. Well, and that's it's like the magic mead. It's like the Old Norse legend of like the magic mead that grants that power of speech. Mm-hmm. There is definitely something mystical going on with Brewsite. Just to satisfy my curiosity, what is the ABV of Brewsite?
9.5.
No, it's not.
Do you see how I'm
I think it might be. Oh no.
Do you see how that happened? Like I just didn't lock in dead away.
Okay. That explains so much. I had seen the color of the 6.7 and I'm like, oh, we're fine. No, this is fucking wine. Eric. This is wine, and this is wine, and we let this demon channel talk us into just a brutal ABV, a dark realm.
Yeah,
beasts.
But man, it tastes great.
What wouldn't? And it's like, and also if we sustain some kind of wound, no doubt Brewsite will be there to cleanse it.
Jesus I mean, I'm not worried about any infections today.
Jesus. Piril is like, I feel like very little talking into was required there. This is from the person who drinks pint glasses of mead. I don't, What's the spice on this? Is it clove? I'm trying to figure out what it is.
The spice? Well, I mean, we had the acidulated malt.
For sure. But there's actually like a really clear spice note. I think it's got to be. I think it's the clove banana thing.
All right. Probably. Yeah, clove and banana from the hop or from the yeast.
Let's get it. Yeah, melange. Yeah, Cookie Mom, it could be. I'm ready to join the Spacers Guild. So let's get it. So what's our vibe? Like, what's the vibe we're trying to get at? Because we had here. Let me go find my.
Listen, I'm half in the bag. The vibe is anything we want
text. To be. Let me go find my text. Here in document.
Okay, so we're doing all grain. Love it.
Yep.
Pico Brew Mash profile.
Yeah, I have the old suggestion for Lady of Pain here, but I don't think that's what's going to happen today.
You don't think so? Oh, God, Lady of Pain would be fun.
It's in there. I mean, obviously, Sigil for days, but Valheim themed. Oh,
hey, you gave in to Holly.
Yeah. Well, no, she's a force of nature, to be sure. Yes. Now, Valheim. Don't hate this.
Yes. Oh God, I wish we could show the Valheim brewery that we made, or the tavern.
Well, here you can put up any image you want, right?
I think so.
I have a.
Did you take a picture?
I have an image of the Svartwaffen. If you want to.
Yeah, let's throw that up.
Let's see. Let's see. Mm-hmm. I lied. Never mind. I'm a liar.
Man, that's tough, man.
Yeah, that's.
I was excited. Listen, look. Do you see the sculling behind me? The edge is giving you just a stern look right now.
It's rough.
It's
rough.
He's like, why?
And look, he's right to. So let's get wild.
That's the face of disappointment from you.
Yeah, and I deserve it, frankly. So, but obviously the mead hall still exists. We can take a shot of it. We can show them our upstairs room with the stone cutter in it, right? So, but let's get the list in here. So, theme. And if you go for Valheim, you probably want to do a mead, which I guess I don't hate. That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
We could also do a beer that had a heavy honey theme.
I kind of like that. I like
with
that.
Rich honey malts and then maybe some herbal, like
a honey wheat.
Exactly. Just dial it down, basically, because we don't need 14%. We got 5 batches of shit coming. We don't need any 14% honey wine coming up in here.
No.
And the truth is that depending on your station, like where you were at socially, the mead you were making was just from the unused parts in the comb. It's not like it wasn't crazy pants, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty thin, honestly. So Valheim, that's an easy call. A vault could be another light. A 14% beer wouldn't be ready until 2022. Yes, only if you aren't bold.
Yeah.
We're into that. Yeah, I mean, there could be a gunfire vibe. We got chewed up in Valheim. So
yeah.
Once they do another serious patch in gunfire, I think we'll probably be back in. But by the end, I think we had the boat sort of locked in.
Oh yeah,
right.
That felt real good.
Yeah, when we had that run where we were able to go beginning to end and just crush it, like I felt like I had beaten the current version of gunfire.
Right.
Right, and you can go and do the plus mode that's got some crazy shit like the expert mode.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I mostly want like the fundamentals to be different.
Yeah.
If I'm going to come back in and put that kind of time in, because I went hog ass wild on it. So Valheim is an easy call, I think.
What else we got for D&D wise? We can do a
Maibach. Yeah. There's always.
Whoa, wait a minute! It's March.
Oh, is it Maibach time?
Why? Yes, 100%. We're just gonna have to find a theme to go around it.
Oh, it's Marzen, right? Is that what it's called?
A Marzen, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, if we did, let's choose the theme, and then because honestly, we could do a Marzen, and then just hook it into Valheim later. So remember this Gunfire Reborn and CC Nowhere. Thank you so much. Oprah is looking for a Kvek Mertzen. Is that what it is? Oh, of course. Thank you, Dimitrios. I felt comfortable knowing that I would be corrected. I recognize my failing and I will work to correct it. Celebration of Spring. Always loving it. Does Splug's hatred of Omin ever lead to him brewing a rival beer? No, didn't happen.
Did we not? I thought we brewed a Splug beer.
We might have. I mean, back in the day, Splug
Splug the Return.
The Returned. Let's see. What else we got here? Honey wine. They need mead. God, there's a lot of interest in the mead. So let's just go through here. Valheim Gunfire Reborn, and then Deep Rock.
Deep Rock, yeah.
Yep. None of these are bad. The truth is that every one of them is rich with potential. Let us take a look. I am not 100% sure that I've ever had a Märzen.
Really?
Yeah, I've had a lot of German beers. I'm not sure I've had that particular one. The issue for me was that it's like once I discovered, I like all the classic ships of the line and the styles, but Hawker Shore is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, Eric.
I mean, Spaten does, like Hawker Shore and Spaten really take the cake for me. Like Spaten's Oktoberfest. Good God.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, world class. Has been for a very long time. Oh, pots of gold. Gosh, Crash Frog. I don't think that we did pots of gold. Well, Crash Frog is throwing out a possible, like one of the Deep Rock ones. I'm just going to put that in the list.
I thought we did
come back to,
gold, didn't we? Maybe not. Jesus.
We did Red Rock Blaster.
Yep.
Delish.
Red Rock Blaster.
But the truth is, they want the Valheim, so we got to give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can approach Valheim with a variety of different styles that we will emphasize the more honeyed aspects, and then also consider the fruits and items that are available in that, because there is mead brewing in the game.
Right.
You're right. It uses thistles or berries. At least one of the recipes is big on the fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. So we could do. I mean, we could add Marzan to this list. That's 100%.
Yes. Yeah, and then we can just customize it, right?
Yep. Absolutely. There. I mean,
why not?
Why not?
You can't lose.
If anybody's gonna break the rules, it's gonna be us.
Yeah, exactly. We will mess with it.
Yeah.
We'll make something that's sort of that, just like vibe checks a mead, but in something that can be drunk theoretically at noon.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
So Marson, that's a freebie.
Yeah.
Do we want to put? A mead isn't just. It's just not going to require much messing around with, unless we want to go whole hog.
Yeah, we could do a mead.
A lot of times, yeah, let's do a mead. A lot of times, at least, there's a few places like local meaderies that execute on mead, and a lot of times, I think that you actually have to be really conscientious with your mead additions.
Right.
A lot of fruits, especially in my opinion, like raspberries, fruits with a lot of seeds, they mostly, what I get out of them, like most of what gets extracted is actually a lot of bitterness. And I don't need that in mead. I like a sweet mead. I like a dry mead. I definitely don't need a mead that is that is astringent.
A friend used to make this stuff called Wonder Mead, and it was so sweet. It was just it was a sweet bomb, and he used blueberries and a little bit of raspberry, but mostly blueberry.
Yeah, and I think that it might really depend on how you've prepared your blueberries for the task, right? So if we're using a compote or something that you have already cooked and pre-done, what we're trying to get is the blueberry flavor, like the vibe.
Yep.
If you're adding a lot of the raw fruit, I think that's it, and it also depends on how long you let it rest in there. That's when you're getting the bitterness part of the seed, and we certainly don't need that. Yeah, the mead has to be honey front, guaranteed. Oh, it's anonymous. It's definitely a thing. So let's just go between Marzen and mead. Let's just see what they want.
Yeah.
Again, there's no bad answers. Like they're both great.
I mean, now is the time for brewing a Marzen, right? So
well, yeah. So Marzen. So give them a little bit of the basics here, right? So Märzen, as Dimitrios corrected me, it's basically it's like a strong lager, right?
Yep. It's a beer brewed in March.
Yeah. But is there certain aspects, certain characteristic styles?
Sure. I mean, you're going to use predominantly Munich.
Classic.
There you go. There's your style.
Hey, so Neon Graveyard, if what you want is alcoholic fruit juice, I've got you. That you want to investigate with every cell in your body, lambics. If that's what you want out of a beverage experience, in this alcoholic context, you want to jump right into lambics. You'll never leave. If that's what you're trying to get from those other things, I think lambic does it better. I think lambic does it better than cider, frankly.
Yeah.
in terms of communicating like the tartness and sharpness of fresh juice.
I'm gonna have you soft shoe this for a sec.
Yeah, I got you, man. So yeah, either way, either when it comes to the mead or the Märzen, both of these are going to be executed in a honey forward style. And even if we end up doing a Märzen, I think that honey as an ingredient is almost a must. I think we just want to communicate. But essentially, what we want to make is something that you would be, something that you want to raise in a tankard, right? In either context. We've made mead on the show before. One of my favorite episodes of all time was a mead episode with Jessica Marzipan, and Holly came on, and we did the whole process. There's just not much to it. It's really, really straightforward. That isn't to say that it can't be done skillfully. But as a process, as long as your instruments are clean, anyone, I think, could find success with a mead, frankly. Yeah, I was just going to say, so, and also I want to welcome our guest, The Edge from U2. Oh.
And I never left you.
Well, yeah, exactly.
There was always an edge here.
No. There we go. Gosh, so I'll let this go for a little bit because mead only rushed in there to fill up.
Yeah.
To fill the space there at the end. I'll let that run for a little bit while they grind against one another. We'll see how it goes.
I think they have berry mead.
The Grimsworth, the question thing is based around the Inky bot and a specific viewing pane that I don't really have up right now. But you can also just ask a question and I'll answer it. This is another way to do it. Beckenbauer, what a pleasure. Man, God, they pushed it all the way over to the meat side.
Is it really? I mean, well, it's still kind of a knife fight, which is interesting.
Well, no, it really is. It is as close as a vote can possibly be. So I'm going to leave it there for a second. Yeah, so one of the first secular albums I was able to purchase was U2's The Joshua Tree.
Oh God, how that had to be amazing! Like that had to be so influential.
It annihilated me.
Like of all
I couldn't believe
albums, that was the one.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because it was available. There was like a Christian music store. It was a Christian gift shop that had a music section.
And for some reason that was there. Like, so it was acceptable.
Yeah. At that time, they were considered of a piece with.
Yeah. Okay.
With believer music, at least by the industry that promoted it. A long times, frankly, there's a lot of really huge ideas in there, especially since up until then, I hadn't been able to listen to anything that secular music of the world.
Wow, fascinating.
Right? Now, so mead. Okay, so now they're equal. Okay, so now they are equal in votes. You beasts. All right, my finger is on the trigger. I am ready to execute at a moment's notice. No, exactly right, Orion. Time did not improve this situation. And now 3 additional people decided
but Marzan's coming back.
No, Mead ran away with it at the end.
Okay.
3 people who couldn't be arsed previously came out at the end to support the one that was already winning. So it's fine. Yeah, God, marzipan mead. I mean, I guess that's one way we can do it.
Okay. So the question is, what
do we want to do?
Yeah. So what do we want to do for Valheim specifically?
We have to play, right? I think that we have to mess with it just to provide interest. Right?
Yeah. So do we want a sweet mead? Do we want a dry mead?
Yes. So I was just gonna say. So let's
Or
get in here.
Or do we want a berry mead?
Well, I don't know yet, Eric. We have to put it up to the channel.
Listen, I'm throwing it out there. You can either take it or throw it on back.
No,
I don't know.
Times. Yeah. In fact, inside the gosh, should I just load here? I'm just gonna load.
Listen, I want to see our mead hall because it's
here.
great.
I will open it up. I'll just run it in this other window. And there's an update. Obviously, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
But I will take a look at that. And I will get a shot of the Svartwaffen for you to put up. There's going to be a lot of typing. Because, I mean, obviously the game is really cool, but the way that it works right now is that it doesn't remember servers that you've been to.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So you have to go and type all this shit in every time. It's fine. I got it.
Oh, there's a mod for that. Okay. That's cool.
Yes, but just on principle, I'm not using it.
I'm going to be a stubborn jackass until they fucking fix this themselves.
They can fix it.
Yeah. They've sold 9 million copies of the game in 2 weeks. Motherfuckers can fix a goddamn UI problem.
They can put it in there. I'm not asking for a lot.
Yeah.
Now, if it's daytime on the server, obviously you're not going to get the best effect. Right? But because there's a lot of cool torches.
There's a lot of well-placed dragon heads. I mean,
oh, you know what's really funny? I opened it up in game. And
they were like, "Have you seen the best mead hall on all the servers?" And we're like, "Yeah, absolutely."
No. It's even funnier than that. I basically, when I logged in, I got up from the floor.
Huh.
Like it was as though my character was
passed out,
passed out on the floor of a literal mead hall. All right, here we go. So what's the vote looking like right now?
We're looking at a berry mead, which I think is pretty cool and spot on for.
Well, it's better for Valheim.
Yep.
Right now, I have to put it. Just hang on. I have to put a bunch of resin in these torches. I want to make sure that people see the real effect.
Hold on, you haven't been resining our torches?
Been resonating? Well, I did before, but I haven't been there.
This is a job that needs to be done.
Well, exactly, and it has been done. No, so
if we're not here, who's gonna resin the torches?
Who among us?
Yeah.
Now, but this is the main thing to let you know is that it is nighttime on the server clock. So everything turned out fine.
Aces.
Right? Paint. And then I will save as a very powerful technique.
Oh. Did you bring out Microsoft Paint? Did I hear that? Man,
oh, yeah.
Classic.
Old school. Right. I will send this to your mail.
Great.
And you can open it at your leisure.
How do I open mail? Oh.
You know how. You've done it. Okay. All right. Image sent.
Great. Love it.
So let this image inspire as we continue to figure out what we're going to do. Oh, Jux. And Justin Totino, love to see these coins in there. Oprah, this is crazy pants. I feel like $1 million. Thank you so much.
Oh, you didn't get. Oh, this is a fantastic image.
Right? Hey, luckily it was nighttime, right?
Yeah, and you didn't give him the inside tour yet, which is nice.
Oh no, I mean we can hold that over. In fact, when the time comes to put some of this stuff together, maybe we can give them the full interior tour. Now, Esser, get a load of this, man. Esser says, "Hey Jerry and Eric, I've been watching for years through the YouTube uploads. Finally hopping onto Twitch to let y'all know I finished bottling my very first homebrew.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks for years of entertainment and a boatload of inspiration. I'm so pleased.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm so pleased. Midori's coming in there. Crazy stream boost activity. So, Gathered Throng. That is the mead hall that we made. Inside, obviously, let's be clear. Do we have a trophy from the first boss hanging over the hearth? Yes,
quite possibly.
That did happen.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we let's be clear. We went pretty hard on this motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is the part they don't know. In order to actually make it, so understand that it's built into the fencing that goes around the whole town.
Yeah.
And so I had to dig with a pickaxe.
Yeah, with a pickaxe
for a very long time behind. And then ultimately, I think I might actually go even harder than that.
Yeah, like we could put a deck out back. I feel like
there's a style. There's like a Northern European, like a sod church type style. That's an established thing. It'd be really neat to have that hill sort of come up over the top of it.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Absolutely. Yeah.
So they want the berry mead.
Great.
Can do.
I really just like looking at this.
Isn't it lovely?
Monument to our building capability.
We had God damn it! It was good times, man.
Yeah.
Now, so what's next?
So let's talk about the honey we want to use.
Oh, that's right. Mead. That's right. I wish that girl with honey was in the mix.
I know.
Of course, she would be the ultimate source.
Absolutely.
Right.
So let's get back to Beersmith. As much as I would like to keep staring at this photo of
this holy land.
Yeah. So add some from. Why is it not? Oh, that's the wrong Beersmith.
Okay. Honey style. Yeah, marshmallow honey is so good. That girl with honey hooked us up big time.
Yep.
With those honey sticks.
Yeah.
Because you'd see her at PAX shows, and she'd just be handing the shit out just because she knows some people with she knows some apiarists, I believe is the term.
Right. But she was also like, if you're having trouble with your throat from talking so much, try this one. Yeah, and she was spot on. It worked.
Dude, she was fucking dialed in.
Yeah.
She was so dialed in on that shit. But yeah, marshmallow honey is sick. Oh my God. She's in the channel.
Whoa.
Well, here, that girl with honey. So glad. Yes, we are making mead today. We have discussed this for a long time. Now, that girl with honey, as a renowned honey expert, the idea is that we're making something sort of hooked into Valheim and the mead hall. These are the vibes. There's going to be some fruit additions on the back. Hoder, nice to see you. Could you offer your expertise on 3 styles of honey that might be cool for this use?
Yep.
Got to say her name and she shall appear.
Jeez, yeah. You don't have to do it 3 times. It's great.
No, it's very convenient.
Yeah.
Some spirits require this whole rigmarole.
Yeah, and like, God, do you really want to go through it?
Yeah, it's like, what's the result?
Yeah.
Ghosts. But my feeling, because I know that you would roll around with that backpack, you had multiple styles in there. It was very, without going into too much detail, there was definitely a dealer aspect. Yeah, exactly right. We were talking about.
Like I've got the Mott's, right? Like,
yeah, the Mott's.
Yeah.
We know about this, so
I don't know if many people do. I feel old for that reference, but that's okay.
No, it's real. It's real. God, yeah. God, that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
You got the moths.
It's like this. You are exactly right. Valheim, Mead Hall, Viking Mead. We're going to have fruit additions as well.
Well, we could have fruit on the front end and fruit on the back end. We could have a honey, like a blueberry honey, a blackberry honey,
that's
cranberry honey, buckwheat.
Yeah. So that's the vibe. Let me know 3 cool choices that might be fun to toss in there, and I will put them into this machine. But what a treasure. I'm so glad to see you pop up. Because, I mean, certainly I would have ideas, but it's not going to be at the level that you'd be able to execute, right? Yep. We don't know about it. Proto, nice to see you. And it worked.
Yeah.
It absolutely worked. But man, those were good times. Even remembering it, I have to admit, makes me a little wistful.
Oh yeah.
Because she would roll through the drawn courtier as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Man. Good times.
No, it's good. Diplominator, thanks for the sub. We love this Prime sub. Your sub is now gestated fully, and maybe born. There we go. So blackberry honey, a Pacific Northwest thing. We like it. Option 1. Yeah, I can see that being pretty.
Yeah,
I can see that being pretty dope, actually. Because bees get wild on it.
Right.
Where we are from, there is heaps and heaps of blackberries are essentially a weed here.
Right.
And they're almost impossible to eradicate. It's so funny. There's this house, like it's like 1 block north of me, where the whole side of their house reaching down to like their house is like up high. The whole side of the house reaching down all the way to the sidewalk is nothing but a bramble. It's like feet deep. Nice. And one year they thought they had gotten it. Right? Today it's bigger than it ever was.
Nice. It's like hops. It's the same
Orange blossom. Yes, orange blossom is traditional for this.
Yep. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. How does it work? Are blackberries the same as huckleberries, or blueberries the same as huckleberries?
What?
What's the difference? What do we have out here?
Listen up, Albany. Okay,
we go by the right things. Here. We go by the right things on the East Coast. We have blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberries. I don't know what the fuck wording you use out here.
None of them are the same. They're all completely different.
Okay.
But I actually have both. I will show you in better times.
Okay.
This summer, you and I. The truth is, you and I will be in, my yard, without masks.
I can't wait.
I will show you, because I have all 3 of these things in my yard.
Okay.
I have huckleberries and blueberries.
They're not the same, but they're similar.
Yeah.
For some reason, I got the impression that a huckleberry was kind of the same thing as something else.
Well, no,
that's not the case.
No, there's the confusion comes from there's some regional aspects to the nomenclature.
Okay.
That's where the confusion comes from, especially between huckleberries and blueberries. But I have both in the yard, and I can show you both.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where it gets crazy.
Is there a distinct flavor taste between the two?
Yes, for sure. Shazmo will tell you, Marionberry versus blackberry. Now, there's a bunch of things that are in that blackberry vein.
Yeah.
There's a few things in that mix for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, so for me, huckleberries, like that was like the bush that we had like in my backyard when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And my memory is that it never ran out of berries.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I could always turn over a leaf and find one, but that can't possibly be true, right?
Do they look more like a blueberry or more like a raspberry?
The color is very different. Oh no, they
like the actual look of it. Like, you know how like a raspberry has like multiple
very small droplets, right?
Yeah.
Blackberry, very large droplets.
Right.
And then Marionberry sort of exists in there. And then there's salmon berries. There's a few that sort of exist in that range between the two. All right, here, strange sourwood honey. What in the hell? What is sourwood? Sourwood has got the vibe.
Yeah. I mean, it's in here. I love it. Soured honey is sweet, colored, light colored, and delicate. It's a caramel or buttery flavor to it, and a pleasant buttery aftertaste.
What? Okay, so that girl with honey coming in with the deep cuts. I'm loving it. So we have thrown up the vibe here. Take a look. All winners, of course. Yeah, red huckleberries. That's basically the one. Sort of moving into like a little bit purple, maybe, but they're mostly in that space. Well, today's beer, Anonymous Prime. Oh, the one that we were tapping. That is Brew Site, and it is. I mean, on par.
It gave me True Sight. I can tell you.
No, I mistakenly thought that it was 6.7% when it's actually basically isopropyl. It's a dangerous wound cleaning agent.
It doesn't taste like 9.5%. It tastes like 5%.
It tastes like bananas. It tastes like banana bread.
Yeah.
And what it actually is poison. So consider this. Yeah, wood is the most dangerous enemy. Felled trees is the most dangerous enemy in Valheim for sure.
Listen, I don't want to talk about my escapades with downing trees.
No, it's Danger Town for sure. Now Orion Road. Yeah, I think that sourwood honey came in from left field and got crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Justin Totino says, I mistakenly thought it was 6% when in fact it was 100%. Yes, basically, you're not 100% wrong. I mean, it's a factor of 10 essentially, but other than that, it is this beverage has a mysterious power.
Yep.
So sourwood honey, it is.
I like it. I
sweet, cool back. Oof.
Okay, so the question is, do we what actual fruit do we want to add to this mix?
Exactly. And my thinking is that
to this caramel and buttery flavored mix.
Now,
caramel, however you like to say it.
Yeah. What does thistle taste like?
Also, let's make sure we can find thistle because I'm not going into the woods to pick it.
Oh no. It'll have to be available. It'll have to be available out in the world, right?
Huh. Red huckleberry is a Pacific Northwest exclusive. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I just grew up with it. I just assumed that was a fundamental thing.
Everywhere,
but they're very spherical. Blueberries can be fat, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they're wild, tend to be small.
Wait, how
tend to be wild gathered?
How fucking fat are your blueberries? I mean, I'm
dude. This, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if we just like planted it in like on a ley line or some shit. But these motherfuckers, they're like bowling balls.
What?
You have to hold these. No, they're not that big, but they're quite large.
I mean, I'm used to a blueberry kind of like half of a dime, maybe.
Fuck that blueberry.
3/4 of a dime.
That blueberry sucks shit.
I don't know. I mean,
just come up into my zone. I'll show you a blueberry. It likes to knock your sock off.
Here's the thing. We tend to seek a lot of flavor in a small dose. Maybe you're more big. It looks big, but not a lot of flavor. I get that. That's your thing.
So, but the flavors, at least the ones that are in the areas that we have around the mead hall, is thistle, raspberry, and blueberry.
Okay, so let's say raspberry could be one of them.
Yeah.
Blueberry. Is there another kind of berry?
I mean, around where we are, I don't think.
No. I'm just saying, is there another kind of berry that we would just want to?
Oh well, let's look to the cheese E.
So
beach plums. Oh yeah, thanks, Josh. Oh yeah, lingonberry would be out of control. Lingonberry would also be topical.
What What is boysenberry? What is that kind of flavor like?
Boysenberry would be moving over into a boysenberry is like a raspberry blackberry, basically.
Oh,
it's
that's
nice
fun.
and mild.
Yeah.
It's really good. So let's put that in there. Boysenberry, blueberry, raspberry, and thistle. You done with this list?
Yeah.
We'll throw that last one in there just as a treat. Boysenberries are very, very good.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like I think about all these things. So like when you were running around eating plants that you shouldn't eat.
Yeah.
I mean, what were the plants that you were? Because I ate all kinds of stuff that I guarantee is not good for you.
It was raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, because they grew like wildfire everywhere.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, any place you could go. Listen, I shouldn't have done it, but I may have had a juniper berry.
Yeah.
Not the smartest move on the planet, but we had a yard full of them, and I wanted to see what the hell it tasted like. Not smart, but happened. So, but it was mostly raspberries and blueberries, and but we had a ton. I mean, this was upstate New York, so apple trees were everywhere, cherry trees.
Yeah.
Like it was just, fruit galore wherever you really wanted it.
Yeah, cloudberries are quite good too.
What is a cloudberry?
I agree with that. A little bit flatter, a little more. It's similar to these other droplet type berries we've been talking about, but a little bit flatter and rounder. Yeah. So this is a winner. They want the boysen, and I don't blame them. Boysenberries are really nice midpoint, still sweet, a little tart. It's perfect. It'll be amazing color too.
Is it a darker color? Like, is it a bluer-ish tone, or?
Boysenberries, I mean, to the untrained eye, are going to look very similar to blackberries.
Oh yeah, they do, but they're a little redder
more
color.
They're lighter. A little more purple, a little more purpley, right?
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, kick-ass flavor. I mean, ultimately, I think these things all sort of spring from the same
exactly.
place, right? These are just cool regional genetic variants, I'm sure. Yep. So we've got something great here. So we got this great mead. We got the great honey base. We got the great fruit addition. We got to get through this next part. In your minds, chat, be thinking about a title. What else do we need? Because with mead, you want to be pretty careful about your yeast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sina. Yeah.
So do we want to make this drier, sweeter, or just now that we've gotten the basics in here, do we want it to be a little bit like basically more syrupy tasting? Yep.
Or a little bit more astringent?
Yep, that's the call. Do you want to dry?
Oh, for the yeast.
Yeah. Do you want to dry or sweet?
Yeah. So these are both they both advocate for themselves, right? They're both going to work. I mean, I think that I tend to go for sweet. I tend to go for sweet meads, just because, like, at its best, it's very, very hard to resist.
Mm-hmm. I love sweet meads, so that's just me. But that's not an influencing of the vote or anything.
No, the truth is, with our cool sweet additions,
right?
It's going to be great end to end.
Yeah, I mean that's how I was introduced to mead at Penzig and other SCA.
Oh
events.
Yeah.
This very sweet mead, and
I mean we were bringing beer, but mead is quite common there. It seemed like to me.
And everybody wants to say theirs is the best and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, for sure. Right. For sure. But they can have these conversations. The question is, whose kegs are empty at the end of the night?
At the end of the hour, you mean?
Yeah, we can have these conversations on the theoretical plane.
Yeah.
But who drank all of our beer?
Yeah. Agreed.
Now, no, they want the sweet. By God,
I think sweet's a really good choice with this.
For this one will be fun. And then, like Orion Rogue says, a lot of its sweetness is going to be chewed up. A lot of the fruit sweetness is going to be chewed up by the process of fermentation.
Yep.
So if it's on the sweet side, then it'll still buoy those fresh fruit tastes. So what we need, chat family, is a cool name for this mead. What do we think?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So we have essentially the vibe is Valheim, Mead Hall, Meadguard.
That's great. Bramblebee, Elksbury Lodge. In medias res.
Trollsbane.
Timber, yeah. I should have yelled that a couple times.
Well, yeah, the idea that its consumption would fell a person, I think is nice. Meet and greet. Love it.
It's you and Mead, kid.
Yeah. Bramblebee. I love it.
Tree murder.
A friend in mead.
Wow, great.
Bramblebee is just a really cute one. I love that. And then we'll do the Draugrs draft. All right. Now, choose one of those. I will be right back.
Great. God, I don't know. Every name on this list is just fantastic. Troll's Vein, that's great too. Timber, Meet and Greet, come on. Oh, yeah, Meadguard's pretty much winning this one, but you never know. Something could come back. It's pretty slick. It's a slick name. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna probably. I mean, is anybody giving it really a run for the money? Not really. A Friend in Me and Bramblebee is close, but I don't know. I think I think we got this.
What do we think?
It's Meadguard.
It's Meadguard. I mean, guys, it's so good. It's really, really good, and it was like the first one in there. Meadguard, it is simple, but effective. I think this is going to be really, really solid. Now, of course, it's going to have to wait quite a bit. Should I grab you another carboy or something?
Maybe.
Because it's basically going to take a carboy out of rotation for a while, right?
For 6 months.
Right. So I should grab you another one so that
either that or we see if we have an empty. I don't think we have an empty one at the. I'll have to ask Josh.
Well, no, there's stuff at the. In addition to all the beers we talked about, there's stuff at the office that's still working too. There's a whole jug of wine. There's 2 other beers.
In for a penny, man. I can't wait.
No, that lager is that's a world-beating lager for sure.
Yeah.
Precious chat, thank you so much for rolling through. So glad to have you out there today. Now, we are out, but our good friend Mike Krahulik will come and draw tomorrow's strip before your very eyes. We will see you next time.